Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you may instantly expose the truth about people you've trusted for years, and when you hear it, you won't be able to unhear it. How many people in your life would collapse without you, but wouldn't lift a single finger if the roles were reversed? Think about it. You've carried people through storms they created. You've offered comfort to people who never comforted you. You've given second chances to people who didn't even deserve a first. You've sacrificed your sleep, your energy, your time, your emotional stability. Not because you are weak, but because you are loyal, because you care, because you hope they'll one day wake up and appreciate what you've done. But here's the brutal truth. No one wants to say out loud. Most people don't change. They don't grow. They don't suddenly become grateful. If anything, your help becomes their habit. Your strength becomes their escape. Your compassion becomes their dependency. And here's where it gets dark. You think you're helping them, but you're actually protecting them from consequences that were meant to change them. You're not saving them. You're shielding them. You're not lifting them. You're carrying them. And the more weight you carry for someone who refuses to walk, the weaker you become, and the stronger their entitlement grows. Machiavelli understood this long before psychology even had a name. He warned that helping the wrong person is more dangerous than having an enemy, because an enemy confronts you openly, but the wrong person drains you quietly. No guilt, no boundaries, no limits. They take your kindness and turn it into a lifestyle. They take your effort and turn it into their comfort. They take your loyalty and turn it into their safety net. And the more you save them, the more they believe your help is their right. They stop appreciating you. They stop hearing you. They stop respecting you. In their mind, if you keep rescuing them, then you must owe them something. That is how good people lose power. That is how strong people burn out. That is how kind people get used, drained, and betrayed. But today, that ends. Because in this video, you're going to learn the 7 types of people you must never help. Not because you're cruel, but because they will destroy your time, your energy, your reputation, and your future if you do. Before we begin, comment this affirmation. My help is a privilege, not a guarantee. Type 1. The chronically lazy. There is a certain kind of person you must learn to recognize instantly if you want to protect your energy, your ambition, and your future. Because on the surface, they look harmless, but in reality, they are one of the most quietly destructive forces in your life. I'm talking about the chronically lazy, not the exhausted, not the overwhelmed, not the people going through real battles. No, I'm talking about the ones who turn laziness into a lifestyle. People who can work, but choose not to. People who could take responsibility, but prefer excuses. People who wake up every morning and make the same silent decision. Someone else will carry me today. These are the people Machiavelli would warn you about first. Because unlike manipulators, or rebels, or wicked people, the chronically lazy hide behind softness. They don't threaten. They don't fight. They drain you quietly, gently, slowly, with dependence disguised as helplessness. And that's why they're dangerous. You won't realize what they are costing you until it's too late. Ask them about their dreams. They have money. Ask them what they're doing to reach them. Suddenly, they have excuses. Their past was unfair. People didn't support them. Luck wasn't on their side. Someone betrayed them. The world is cruel. Excuses become their armor, the shield that protects them from responsibility. And here's the truth most people deny. They don't want progress. They want comfort. And you become their comfort. Your effort becomes their escape route. Your discipline becomes their safety net. Your motivation becomes their free ladder. You think you're supporting them, but they think you're doing their job. Machiavelli said, "He who is not willing to act does not deserve the fruit of action." Yet, here you are, offering them fruit while they refuse to plant even a single seed. Here's the test that exposes them instantly. Ask them, what are you doing right now to improve your situation? Not, Yesterday. Not tomorrow. Not next month. Right now. If the answer is silence, or blame, or long stories full of circular excuses, you're dealing with a professional victim, not a struggler. And here's the painful twist. When you help them, you don't inspire them. You weaken them. You destroy the one thing they desperately need. Hunger. Without hunger, there is no growth. Without discomfort, there is no change. Without consequences, there is no transformation. And the longer you carry them, the more they start to believe you should. Your strength becomes their jealousy. Your discipline becomes their insecurity. Your success becomes proof of their failure, and they quietly resent you for it. If laziness becomes someone's identity, your help becomes poison, not support. Step back. Let life hand them the weight they've avoided. It's the only teacher they listen to. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I release what refuses to rise. Type 2. The perpetually ungrateful dare is a type of person who can drain even the strongest, most generous, most loving soul without ever raising their voice, without ever asking for too much, and without ever admitting what they're doing. They don't argue. They don't attack. They don't demand. They do something far more damaging. They never appreciate anything. These are the perpetually ungrateful. The people who turn your kindness into routine, your effort into expectation, and your sacrifices into background noise. They don't just overlook what you do. Verace Italiano, you give them support when they need it. They expect more. You show up for them when no one else does. They assume you always will. You go out of your way to make their life easier. They forget your effort the moment their problem is solved. Ungrateful people live with one core belief. You owe me. And that belief makes them more dangerous than you realize. When someone is genuinely grateful, their appreciation fuels your desire to continue helping. But when someone feels entitled, your help does nothing but feed their ego. They don't value your time. They don't recognize your emotional labor. They don't acknowledge your sacrifices. They only notice the moments you don't show up. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. He wrote, "Men forget the good easily, but remember the good they expected and never received." And this is the psychology of the ungrateful. They forget every kindness you've offered, and they obsess over the one thing you didn't do. They won't remember the 100 times you supported them, but they will remember the one time you couldn't. They won't appreciate your help, but they will resent your boundaries. They won't cherish your effort, but they'll complain the moment your effort stops. And here's the most painful part. Ungrateful people increase their demands faster than you can increase your kindness. Give them a little, they want more. Heap them a lot, they still want more. Give them everything. They'll say something is missing. With them, there is no finish line. No point where they say, "Thank you. That meant a lot." No moment where your sacrifice feels worth it. You cannot win with them. You cannot satisfy them. You cannot earn their loyalty through generosity. Because to the ungrateful, your generosity is just an opportunity to take without giving anything back. And when you finally pull away, they won't self-reflect. They won't apologize. They won't take accountability. Instead, they'll twist the story and say, "You changed." They'll act offended. They'll act betrayed. They'll act like the victim. Helping them is a losing game. It drains your spirit while feeding their entitlement. Let them go. You are not here to fill bottomless cups. Comment this affirmation below. My kindness has limits. Type 3. The arrogant and self-recouster is a type of person who cannot be helped, cannot be taught, and cannot be guided. Not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack humility. These are the arrogant and self-righteous, the people who walk through life wearing a crown they never earned. They're not wise. They're not strong. They're not confident. They're simply addicted to the sound of their own opinions. You can spot them instantly. They interrupt explanations they haven't heard. They correct others before understanding the full story. They reject advice before it even reaches their ears. And they confuse stubbornness with intelligence. Trying to help someone like this feels like trying to fill a cup with a lid on it. Pointless, exhausting, and eventually humiliating. Because arrogant people don't listen to understand. They listen to respond. They don't seek truth. They seek validation. They don't want guidance. They want confirmation that they're already right. And the moment you dare challenge their beliefs, even gently, even with kindness, they don't question their ideas. They question you. Machiavelli understood this human flaw deeply. He wrote, "Men judge more by the eye than by the mind, and the arrogant are the perfect example. They care far more about appearing smart than being smart, far more about seeming wise than learning wisdom. When you offer them advice, you threaten the most fragile possession, their ego. That's why helping them always backfires. If you give them solutions and things go well, they take the credit. If you guide them and things go wrong, they blame you. With them, there is no winning position. You will always be the scapegoat, never the source of wisdom." Arrogant people are emotionally allergic to humility. Reflection feels like weakness to them. Learning feels like losing. And acknowledging your guidance feels like they would rather keep walking into walls than admit someone else saw the doorway. Here is the truth you must accept. You cannot teach someone who believes they know everything. You cannot advise someone who sees advice as an insult. You cannot save someone who thinks they're too superior to fall, even as they're already sinking. People like this only grow when life finally hits them harder than their pride. Consequences will humble them in a way no human voice can. Your role is not to break their ego. Your role is to stop wasting your breath. Step aside. Let reality do the teaching they refuse to receive from you. Comment this affirmation below. I refuse to argue with closed minds. Type 4. The habitually wicked. Some people make mistakes because they're human, because they're overwhelmed, because they're lost. Those people deserve guidance. They deserve patience. They deserve a second chance. But then, there is another category entirely, a darker one. Deliberat one, a group Machiavelli himself would warn you to avoid at all costs, the habitually wicked. These are not people who slipped once, or who gave in to a moment of weakness. These are people who treat wrongdoing as a strategy, deception as a tool, and harm as a lifestyle. For them, cruelty is not an accident. It's a choice, a repeated one. The habitually wicked lie even when honesty would work. They manipulate because it gives them a sense of control. They betray not because they need to, but because they want to. It's who they've chosen to be. And the most dangerous part, they know exactly how to disguise it. They can look kind, they can look humble, they can look helpless, they can look responsible. They wear masks the way others wear clothes, choosing whichever one gets them the most sympathy or the least consequences. You'll see it in their patterns. Every relationship they touch becomes damaged. Every opportunity they receive turns into chaos. Every person who tries to save them eventually regrets it. Their gift is not growth. Their gift is destruction. Machiavelli once wrote, "A man who causes harm will do so whenever it is useful to him." The wicked live by this principle. If betraying you benefits them, they won't hesitate. If using you makes their life easier, they'll drain you dry. If dragging you into darkness protects them from consequences, they'll do it without guilt. And here is the truth most people avoid until it's too late. When you help the wicked, you inherit their consequences when tailier. Your name gets associated. When they cheat, you look complicit. When they cause damage, people question you because you stood beside them. Your reputation becomes currency, and they bankrupt everyone near them. Worse yet, they feel no remorse, no reflection, no guilt. They don't apologize. They justify. They don't regret the harm. They regret getting caught. They don't change their behavior. They change their tactics. And you cannot fix someone who sees morality as optional. You cannot heal someone who doesn't believe they're broken. You cannot protect someone who enjoys chaos. The only wise move, the Machiavellian move, is distance. Cold, unapologetic distance. Protecting yourself isn't cruelty. It's survival. When someone chooses wickedness again and again, helping them doesn't make you a good person. It makes you a tool in their destruction. Comment this affirmation below. I refuse to carry another person as a darkness type 5. The incurably foolish there is a type of person you can pour your wisdom into like water, and all of it will leak straight through. Not because they lack the capacity to learn, but because they lack the willingness to change. These are the incurably foolish. The people who refuse to learn from their mistakes, no matter how obvious, how painful, or how repetitive those mistakes are. Understand something clearly. A fool is not defined by low intelligence. A fool is defined by a stubborn refusal to grow. You can give them opportunities. You can give them advice. You can give them resources, guidance, patience, compassion, and they will still choose the same destructive path every single time. They don't fail because life is unfair. They fail because they repeat the same patterns. While expecting different results, you rescue them from one disaster. They walk right into the next. You warn them about a consequence. They ignore you and face it anyway. You tell them the fire is hot. They touch it again, then blame the flame. Machiavelli said, "Experience is the teacher of all things, but only to those who are willing to learn." And that's the problem. The incurably foolish are unwilling students. Every downfall comes with a lesson, but they reject every lesson life offers. Instead, they blame circumstances. They blame luck. They blame the world. Blame becomes their shield. Victimhood becomes their identity. And you, the one who cares, end up trapped in their endless loop. Here's the pattern you must recognize. You give them advice, they nod. You warn them. They agree. You explain what will happen. They admit you're right. Then the moment you look away, they repeat the exact same mistake, with the exact same confidence, expecting a different outcome. Helping fools does not save them. It enables them. It reinforces their belief that someone else will always clean up the mess. It removes the consequences that were meant to teach them. It shields them from the discomfort required for growth. And the more you help them, the more they depend on you. Not because they value you, but because they rely on your exhaustion. Here's the harsh truth. Your wisdom is wasted on someone who refuses to use it. Your effort is wasted on someone who refuses to apply it. Your energy is wasted on someone who refuses to grow from it. And the danger, their repeated chaos, eventually becomes your chaos. Their poor decisions become your emergencies. Their lack of discipline becomes your responsibility. Their cycle becomes your burden. A fool will never thank you. A fool will never respect you. A fool will never transform because of you. The only way to protect yourself, and ironically, the only chance they ever have of learning, is to step back. Let consequences be the teacher they cannot ignore. Comment this affirmation below. I release those who refuse to learn. Type 6. The master manipulator. Some people don't take your help. They extract it. Not openly. Not honestly. Not directly. They use something far more subtle, far more powerful, and far more dangerous: your emotions. These are the master manipulators. The people who pull your strings so gently, so silently, that you don't even realize you're moving to their rhythm until you're exhausted, drained, and confused. They don't say, "Help me." They engineer situations that make you feel like you must. They don't ask for your time. They create guilt that forces you to give it. They don't request your energy. They subtly shape the environment so that you keep pouring it in. Master manipulator understands you better than you understand yourself. They know your compassion, your empathy, your loyalty, your desire to avoid conflict, and they weaponize every one of those traits. Sometimes they play the helpless victim. Sometimes they play the misunderstood hero. Sometimes they switch roles mid-sentence to see which version gets your sympathy. They are emotional. They don't tell stories. They perform them. Every word is deliberate. Every expression is calculated. Every wound is emphasized at the perfect moment. And here's the dangerous truth. Manipulators are not always malicious. They are strategic. They know exactly how to twist your emotions until helping them feels like your responsibility. Machiavelli said, "Men are driven by two things, fear and desire. To control them, one must understand both. Master manipulators embody this principle. They tap into your desire to help and your fear of being seen as cruel. They use one to trigger the other. They record every favor you give as emotional currency, but they never repay the debt. They don't appreciate your effort. They exploit it. They don't respect your boundaries. They test them. They don't see your generosity as kindness. They see it as an opportunity. And when you finally resist, when you step back, when you say no, they flip the script. Suddenly you are the villain. You're selfish. Yo, ore cold. You changed. They twist your strength into cruelty and your boundaries into betrayal. The subtlety is the danger. They don't drain you loudly. They drain you invisibly. And here's the truth most people avoid. You cannot save a manipulator. You cannot reason with one. You cannot fix their behavior with kindness. Manipulators don't transform because you help them. They only transform when you stop being a source of energy. Your power lies in one act. Cutting the supply, stop reacting. Stop explaining. Stop justifying. Stop letting guilt pull your strings. When you become emotionally unavailable to their tactics, they lose interest. They move on. They find a new target. Protect yourself. Your mind is not their playground. Your heart is not their toolbox. Your energy is not their fuel. Comment this affirmation below. I take back my power. Type 7. The unrepentant rebel. There are people who break rules because they don't know better. People who make mistakes because they're inexperienced. People who stumble because they're lost or confused. These people deserve patience. They deserve guidance. They deserve a second chance. But then, there is a completely different breed. A kind of person who isn't lost. They're defiant, not confused, deliberate, not struggling, rebellious by choice. These are the unrepentant rebels. The people who know the rules, understand the consequences, recognize the line, and still choose to cross it. Not once, not twice, but every time. They break structure simply because it exists. They ignore wisdom simply because it's offered. They reject discipline simply because someone suggests it. You can warn them. You can guide them. You can pull them back from disaster. You can literally show them the exact outcome of their actions and they will nod, smile, and walk straight back into the same chaos with pride. The unrepentant rebel does not respond to advice. They respond only to impact. They grow not from words, but from consequences. Consequences they refuse to face as long as someone else shields them. Machiavelli once said, "A wise ruler must know when to use force and when to let the inevitable unfold." This is the principle you must apply with rebels. Trying to help them does nothing but fuel their defiance. Your patience gives them more space to settle. Your loyalty gives them more room to repeat their mistakes. Your forgiveness gives them more confidence to ignore responsibility. The truth is painful but undeniable. The more you fight to save them, the less they fight for themselves. Unrepentant rebels thrive on attention, even negative attention. They enjoy watching others exhaust themselves trying to fix them. They take satisfaction in knowing the world bends around their recklessness. They treat your boundaries as suggestions. They treat your warnings as challenges. They treat your support as another cushion for their next downfall. And here's the dark twist. They often have potential, great potential, but they burn it on the altar of rebellion. You cannot impose change from the outside. You cannot fight someone's self-destruction with kindness. You cannot enforce discipline on someone who sees rebellion as their identity. The best move, the only move, is to step back and let Reality, teach them the lesson they refuse to learn from. You. Let the weight of their choices fall on their shoulders, not yours. Let the discomfort of consequences become their mirror. Let the silence of your distance reveal what your voice never could. This isn't cold. This isn't cool. Tease. Ease. Wisdom. This is self-preservation. This is how you stay intact while their storm burns itself out. Comment this affirmation below. I protect my path. What you must do instead now that you've seen the 7 types of people Machiavelli warns you must never help. It's time to face the question most people avoid for their entire lives. Are you helping the right people? Or are you sacrificing yourself for those who will never value it? Because here's the cold, unfiltered truth. A truth most people refuse to accept. Mercy without judgment is not kindness. It is self-destruction. Every ounce of energy you pour into the wrong person is energy stolen from your own future. Every minute you spend rescuing someone who refuses to grow is a minute you lose from your own destiny. Every time you save someone who won't save themselves, you are pushing your own life backward while they stand still. Helping the wrong people doesn't make you kind. It makes you drained, exhausted, resentful, and invisible. So what should you do instead? Let's break it down, strategically, powerfully, and without emotion clouding truth. Step 1. Know the difference between struggle and choice. A person who is genuinely struggling, someone fighting, learning, trying, deserves support. But someone who is lazy by choice, reckless by choice, manipulative by choice, rebellious by choice, that is not struggle. That is decision. Your responsibility is not to fix someone's deliberate decisions. Your responsibility is to protect yourself from the consequences of those decisions. Step 2. Redefine compassion. People think compassion means saving everyone, but real compassion is discernment. Sometimes compassion is pulling someone out of the fire. Sometimes compassion is letting them feel the heat so they learn not to touch the flame again. If your help destroys your energy and produces no growth in them, you're not being compassionate. You're being used. Step 3. Protect your resources like a ruler. Your time, your attention, your money, your emotional strength. These are not infinite. They are your power. And Machiavelli teaches one rule above all. A wise leader invests only where the return is real. Stop planting seeds in barren soil. Stop nurturing people who refuse to rise. Stop watering relationships that never grow. Your garden needs you more than their desert does. Step 4. Set boundaries without apology. Say no without guilt. Withdraw without drama. Walk away without hesitation. When you stop enabling, you stop being an accessory to their chaos. When you step back, consequences finally step in, and consequences teach what your kindness never could. Step 5. Invest in the right people. Look for the ones who try, even when it's hard. Look for the ones who reflect, learn, grow. Look for the ones who value your effort and match it with their own. These people don't drain you, they multiply you. This is how loyalty is built. This is how influence is earned. This is how power is created. Now ask yourself honestly, courageously, who am I helping that I actually need to release? Who am I rescuing that needs responsibility instead? Who am I enabling through my own exhaustion? Who needs to face their own consequences? Not mine. Machiavelli's final lesson is simple. Mercy without judgment destroys the giver. Your strength is a weapon. Your energy is currency. Your boundaries are protection. Use them wisely before you go. Comment this affirmation. I invest in growth, not destruction.